Hey guys, I'm Keith Warren. Today is the 26th of July, 2016, and welcome to another episode of Homeless in Titusville. And today I'm being joined by a man named Aaron. And what's your last name, Aaron?
Graves.
Aaron Graves. And the reason I'm talking to Aaron is because Aaron is involved with a ministry that helps the homeless out. And tell us a little bit about that ministry. What's it called?
Well, we are under the bridge, and we serve the homeless, hurting, and in need in the community of Titusville. And it's an array of people with different personalities and circumstances that might be unrealistic to the normal person. And we find ourselves dealing with everyday circumstances. And it's great to just be there for them and be a helping hand in a tough time.
And so the name of the ministry is Under the Bridge Ministries.
Yeah,
is that because you literally serve people under the bridge?
Well, we do. We gather and we have just some food and hand out resource or dire need items just to meet them right where they're at that time and truly be able to serve them and encourage them throughout their week. And develop a personal relationship. So we meet more often than not, but that's where the fellowship gathers, yes.
And do you have a physical location? Do you have a church or
No,
is that the only physical location is Under the Bridge?
Well, we don't have a physical location. We serve throughout our week. We serve every day.
Well, you do meet somewhere physically, obviously, with people.
But we don't have a physical building. We don't believe that. We don't believe that we're confined to just that.
And where do you guys what bridge would we find you, and what day of the week, and what time? Like, how would somebody find you if they wanted to attend services?
Monday night at 6 p.m. under the Amex Brewer Bridge. We'll be there directly underneath the bridge and hopes to serve the homeless, hurting, and in need. If you know somebody that's in this circumstance or can use a warm meal and some encouragement, please feel free to invite them or send them down our way. But you can contact us on Facebook at Under the Bridge Ministry. We look forward to fellowshipping and meeting new people and seeing how we can be effective in meeting the needs of the community so that we can see betterment in not only the lives of others but ourselves.
What's the reality of some of the people that are homeless and in need now? Is it all ages? Is there a certain group of people that stand out in your mind?
Well, my heart is in young adults because I'm only 27 and I know what it means to live in those circumstances, but there is no age group, there's no ratio that's any more prevalent than another. It's the fact that we get beat up by life, or some suffer from mental causes, others from depression or just turning away from life in a whole, or maybe even complacency in that circumstance. But our desire is to meet their needs and find what's hurting them, because I know how it feels to sleep outside. I know what it means to not have my lights on. I know what it means to not have food on the table. But, I've learned by putting my trust in the Lord, I can go full to bed every night.
And how do you know about these things? Were you yourself homeless?
I've been in circumstances where I have been homeless for a time, or I've been in ins and out of jails, prisons, institutions, rehabs, and it was a lifelong battle, or so it seemed. But I remember when I started putting the work in, and the process had begun, and over time I had learned what life truly was about, and that's just having a personal relationship with Jesus Christ.
And what kind of stretches in jail are we talking about? Are we talking about minor stuff? Are we talking about major things? Give us an idea of what the longest period of time you were in jail and what the reason was.
Well, I did 3 years in prison. Was my last bid right before a county bid, and it was an array of things. I struggled like most young adults or elder teenagers looking to fit in the world that they have no clue or idea as where to begin or start. And today we have a solution for that. We have a way. We have opportunity before us, but people like myself needed somebody there to speak that life into me, to show me the ropes and to show me the path. And for that, I was blessed. So now I just look to be a blessing to others also.
Well, what about your parents? Were your parents there to help you, or were your parents...
Yeah, they're blessings. They're good people.
So were they good people and you still got into this trouble anyways?
Yeah, to some degree. We find some things unfathomable for ourselves or unbearable, as to the next might be able to handle them. But for myself, I know that there was a deeper pain than I could ever imagine that I felt was a daily life, and I found healing.
And do you have children? Do you have a wife?
No,
What's your home situation like?
I do have a home. I also just as well with the ministry. You know, I have a full-time job. I'm a foreman for a fire protection company. I have a 3-bedroom home and a beautiful dog, a couple roommates, and really feel like I'm living the dream. You know, some days are tough, but I know that God's my protector and my provider, and we don't have to worry.
And I know a lot of people here in Titusville, Florida, know you, and they know that you know, a lot of times pull a little trailer behind your your truck, and you know, you come out and you have tables and chairs and of course, you know, food items and clothing and stuff like that. Is the dream? Do you want to be a pastor of a church? Is that the dream?
Well, the dream for me is just solely to be in a right standing with God, just having that constant relationship with Him and seeking His will in my life.
But would you like to do God's work for a living? Meaning,
Yes.
Would you like to give up the fire protection service? And gosh, I hope that train isn't ruining our video and that you guys can hear us. But so, you know, I mean, ideally though, you would like to have your own ministry and do that full time.
If you're talking about financially being provided, I've never seen myself there yet, because I only hope on today and I hope on tomorrow. But my dream, my vision is having a family and operating a ministry and leading others to Christ and a better life.
Have you always had a relationship with God?
No. It was a moment. It was all in one moment, and I remember that moment like it was yesterday. It still swelters sometimes because I know it's real. I know that God's with me. I know that God's with anyone who believes in His name. And since that moment, I was called into this purpose, and it's been a transformation. It was literally night and day.
Where were you when you felt God's presence? Where were you when you had this transformation in life?
I was driving over O'Galley Causeway at like 11:30 at night. I just left a friend's house, and I knew that day that I was going to give my life to God. And it took until 11:30 at night to actually make that step. And as I was driving over the bridge, I remember surrendering. I remember accepting Jesus into my heart and asking Him to make my mind whole, to make my heart whole, to make my body whole. And I felt that healing happen. I felt the forgiveness of all my sins, and I knew that God loved me.
So if somebody was looking for some guidance in their relationship with God and also had some physical needs such as food and clothing and possible maybe some help with some medical or just some advice,
Band-Aids.
you know, where could they meet up with you, or how could they get in touch with you to, you know, is that the only way they could do it, is to come down to the bridge? Or
Well, in the Bible, we're told that the Spirit moves like the wind. You know, like we ourselves don't know where we're going to be or what we're doing. Every Monday, I ascertain and I plan to be under the bridge at 6 p.m. every Monday. But throughout the week, if you see me, please reach out. I'll pray. I'd love to pray. It'd be an honor, or encourage you wherever you're at. But anywhere that you find yourself with God and in the Word, and He'll give all that you need, more so than I ever could.
so if people do have some things that they like to donate to you guys, what are some of the things that you find that some of the physical needs that people need the most? Is it clothing? Is it shoes? Is it food? I mean, what's the biggest need that you've seen from people here in the community?
Love.
Well, no,
But
I'm talking
I'll
about
answer
physical
your
needs.
question.
Like if,
I'll answer that too.
Yeah.
As for dire needs, every other week we've changed from going Saturday. We go to Sunday now because other people go on Saturday. But to take out lunch bags and dire needs items such as first aid, hygiene, clothing, shoes, any of these things that we can give, razors. So these products that we can't go without, or we feel we can't. Most other people don't have them, and when we give to them those things, we might need sleeping bags, bike tire tubes, tents, and these needs are being met. You know, there's people, the community is behind it, and people know what we're doing, but not only us, because there's no glory in what we're doing, there's glory in what God's doing. And there's so many ministries in this town that have the same belief that we can help our brothers up. And it's an honor to work alongside a lot of the ministries and churches, and their constant care and love and investment in Under the Bridge and in Titusville as a whole.
Wow.
So that's a good answer.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm really glad that you guys are out there, and I know, a lot of people, they have this stereotypical thought when they think of somebody who's homeless or in need. They're wearing some long green trench coat and the gloves with the fingers missing, and they're pushing a grocery cart. But I think the reality of who is homeless and who is in need are families and young children and people who are staying with their parents in a back
never
room.
imagine.
Yeah, there's a lot of people struggling, and I know that most people don't make a living wage, and there are a lot of people that are just on the cusp of homelessness, and I know there's a big need out there for people doing the type of work that you're doing, and I'm really glad to know that there are people like yourself out there who help some of the people that I do videos with and that feature and stuff. And I'm really glad to know you, and I'm glad that you took a minute to spend with me. Let me know who you are and what you guys do.
Yes, sir.
And is there any messages you have for anybody or anything you'd like to say?
Be blessed. Let the Lord's face shine upon you and give you peace and joy wherever you're at. In Jesus' name.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you spending a minute with me.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.